Sahabat Ajarin, kita akan membahas pemahaman pemahaman bacaan bahasa Inggris. Ada dua teks. Teks yang pertama nomor 53 sampai nomor 56. Teks yang kedua adalah soal untuk nomor 57 sampai 60. Baiklah, saya akan membacakan. Fertilizer is any substance that can be added to the soil to provide chemical elements essential for plant nutrition. Natural substances such as animal dropping and straw have been used as fertilizers for thousands of years, and lime has been used since the Romans introduced it during the empire. It was not until the 19th century, in fact, that chemical fertilizers became popular. Today, both natural and synthetic fertilizers are available in a variety of forms. A complete fertilizer is usually marked with a formula consisting of three numbers, such as 482 or 364, which designate the percentage content of nitrogen, phosphoric acid, and potash in the order stated. Synthetic fertilizers are available in either solid or liquid form. Solids in the shape of chemical granules are popular because they are easy to store and apply. Recently, liquids have shown an increase in popularity, accounting for about 20% of the nitrogen fertilizer used throughout the world. Formerly, powders were also used, but these were found to be less convenient than either solid or liquids. Fertilizers have no harmful effect on the soil, the crop, or the consumer as long as they are used according to the recommendation based on the result of local research. Occasionally, however, farmers may use more fertilizer than necessary, damaging not only the crop but also the animals or humans that eat it. Accumulation of fertilizer in the water supply accelerates the growth of algae and consequently may disturb the natural cycle of life, contributing to the death of fish. Too much fertilizer on grass can cause digestive disorders in cattle and infants who drink cow's milk. Soal dari teks yang pertama, yaitu nomor 53. With which of the following topics of the passage is primarily concerned? Opsi jawabannya A. Local research and harmful effect of fertilizer. B. Advantages and disadvantages of liquid fertilizer. C. A formula for the production of fertilizer. D. Content, form, and effect of fertilizer. E. Fertilizer in agriculture. Baiklah, sekarang kita merujuk kepada bacaannya. Kita mulai membaca kalimat pertama dari tiap-tiap paragraf, karena biasanya inti topik dari suatu wacana itu terletak pada awal kalimat dari suatu paragraf atau pada akhir. Coba kita baca kalimat pertama pada paragraf pertama. Fertilizer is any substance that can be added to the soil to provide chemical elements essential for plant nutrition. Paragraf pertama ini adalah definisi dari fertilizer. Kita coba ke paragraf kedua. A complete fertilizer is usually marked with a formula consisting of three numbers, such as bla 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 bla. Oke. Paragraf kedua isinya adalah formula dari fertilizer atau pupuk. Ya. Kita coba ke paragraf ketiga, kalimat pertama. Synthetic fertilizer are available in either solid or liquid forms. Jadi ini adalah bentuk dari pupuk. Terus kemudian pada paragraf terakhir, kalimat pertama, fertilizers have no harmful effect on the soil, the crop, or the consumer as long as they are used according to the recommendation based on the result of local research. Baiklah, ini paragraf terakhir ini isinya adalah efek dari pupuk. Kira-kira apa? Kalau kita melihat tadi, setelah kita bahas secara sekilas isi dari bacaan ini. Kita kembali ke nomor 53. Opsi jawaban yang benar dari pertanyaan nomor 53, with which of the following topic of the passage is primary concern? Jawabannya adalah D, content, form, and effect of fertilizers. Sahabat ajarin, kita akan menuju ke soal nomor 54. Which of the following statements about fertilizers is true? Opsi jawabannya A, powders are popular than ever. B, solids are difficult to store. C, liquids are increasing in popularity. D, chemical granules are difficult to apply. A, fertilizers has no effect to humans. Pembahasan nomor 54, kita harus membaca setiap opsi dari jawaban dari nomor 54 itu, kemudian kita merujuk ke bacaannya. Coba kita analisa jawaban A. Powders are popular than ever. Ternyata ini bertentangan dengan paragraf ketiga baris terakhir, ya. Isinya adalah powders were also used, but these were found to be less convenient. Oke. Ada kata less convenient. Ini menyatakan berarti powders tidak populer. Kemudian B, solids are difficult to store. Ini bertentangan dengan paragraf ketiga baris kedua, yaitu dimulai dari kata solids. They are easy to store and apply. Oke, opsi jawaban C, liquids are increasing in popularity. Ternyata liquids ini ada di paragraf ketiga baris kedua. Ada di situ tertulis liquids have shown an increase in popularity. Oleh karena itu, jawaban dari nomor 54 adalah C. Sahabat ajarin, kita menuju ke nomor 55. What is the percentage of nitrogen in 587 formula fertilizer? Kita merujuk kepada bacaannya, fokus ke angka-angka yang dimaksudkan di nomor 55. Angka-angka itu ternyata ada di paragraf kedua, yaitu consisting of three numbers such as 482 or 364, which designate the percentage content of nitrogen, phosphoric acid, and potash. Jadi 482 terus kemudian 364 itu menuju kepada isi dari nitrogen, kemudian asam fosfor dan potasium. Sehingga nitrogen itu ada di angka yang pertama, angka 5. Oleh karena itu jawaban dari 55 adalah B. Sahabat ajarin, kita menuju ke soal nomor 56. Pertanyaannya adalah, the word convenient, paragraph 3, line 3, is closest in meaning with A, effective, B, plentiful, C, easy to use, D, cheap to produce, A, enough. Convenient itu artinya mudah digunakan. Sehingga jawaban yang pas adalah C. Sahabat ajarin, kita akan membahas teks kedua dari pembahasan kali ini. Teks kedua ini untuk nomor soal 57 sampai 60. The development of the horse has been recorded from the beginning through all of its evolutionary stages to the modern form. It is, in fact, one of the most complete and well-documented chapters in paleontological history. Fossil finds provide us not only with detailed information about the horse itself, but also with valuable insight into the migration of herds and even evidence for speculation about the climatic condition that could have instigated such migratory behavior. It has been documented that almost 12 million years ago, at the beginning of Pliocene age, a horse about midway through its evolutionary development crossed a land bridge when the Bering Straits are now located from Alaska into grasslands of Europe. The horse was the Hipparion, about the size of modern-day pony with 3 toes and specialized cheek teeth for grazing. In Europe, the Hipparion encountered another less advanced horse called Ancitiors, which had previously invaded Europe by the same route, probably during the Miocene period. Less developed and smaller than the Hipparion, the Ancitiors was completely replaced by it. By the end of the Pliocene age, both the Ancitiors and Hipparion had become extinct in North America when they had originated. In Europe, they had evolved into an animal very similar to the horse as we know it today. It was the descendant of this horse that was brought by European colonies to the Americas. Nomor 57. Pertanyaannya adalah, what is this passage mainly about? Opsi jawaban A, the evolution of the horse. B, the migration of horses. C, the modern-day pony. D, the replacement of the Ancitors by the Hipparion. A, the story of the horse migration. Coba kita baca atau merujuk ke bacaannya. Biasanya ide utama atau isi dari bacaan itu ada di awal paragraf dari tiap paragrafnya atau ada di akhir dari satu paragraf. Kita lihat paragraf pertama, baris pertama. The development of horse has been recorded from the beginning through all of its evolutionary stages to the modern form. Dari sini sudah kita bisa bahas, kita sudah bisa simpulkan bahwa isi dari bacaan ini adalah tentang evolusi dari kuda yang nanti akan dipertegas lagi dengan kalimat-kalimat setelahnya. Kalimat setelahnya adalah supporting statements atau supporting sentences. Oleh karena itu, jawaban yang tepat untuk nomor 57 adalah A, the evolution of the horse. Kita menuju ke pertanyaan nomor 58, sahabat ajarin. Pertanyaannya adalah, according to the author, fossils are considered valuable for all of the following reasons except. Kita menuju kepada teks, kita merujuk, kita refer kepada teks, terus kemudian cari kata fosil. Fosil itu ternyata ada di paragraf pertama, ya. Paragraf pertama, baris kedua. Fossil finds provide us not only with detailed information about horse itself. Terus kemudian yang kedua, juga tentang valuable insight about migration of earth. Terus kemudian evidence of speculation about climatic condition that could have instigated such migratory behavior. Oke, sekarang kita bisa lihat ya, kira-kira yang tidak merupakan kecuali di situ ya pertanyaannya ya. According to the author, fossil are considered valuable for all of the following reason except. Apakah A, they suggest how to climate may have been, tadi ada dijelaskan. B, they provide information about migration, juga ada. Terus kemudian C, they document the evolution of the horse, betul juga. Kemudian D, they support the evaluation assumption, betul juga. Oleh karena itu, jawabannya adalah E, karena tidak ada yang menyatakan tentang catatan kehidupan kuda sebelum zaman Miocene Age. Jawabannya adalah E untuk nomor 58. Nomor 59. According to this passage, the Hipparions were bla 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 bla. Baik. Opsi jawabannya adalah A, five-toed animals. B, not as highly developed as the Ancitiors. C, larger than the Ancitiors. D, about the size of small dog. A, about the same as the today horse. Baiklah, Kita menuju ke bacaan dan cari kata Hipparions. Ternyata kata Hipparions itu ada di paragraf kedua baris keempat ya. Kita highlight kata baris keempat dari paragraf kedua ya. Ada kalimat dimulai dari kalimat the horse was the Hipparions. Oke. Terus kemudian langsung di bawahnya in Europe the Hipparion encountered another less advanced horse called the Ansitiers. Oke, kalimat ini yang merupakan kunci dari jawaban nomor 59. Jadi, less advanced. Oke, oleh karena itu kita bisa simpulkan yang paling tepat untuk menjawab pertanyaan nomor 59 itu adalah C. Bahwa secara fisik, Hipparions were larger than the Ansitiers. Sahabat ajarin, akhirnya sampai kita ke pertanyaan terakhir dari pembahasan kali ini, yaitu nomor 60. Pertanyaannya adalah, which of the following conclusion may be made on the basis of information in the passage? Kesimpulannya apa berdasarkan dari informasi bacaan ini? Kalau seperti ini, berarti kita analisa setiap opsi jawaban dari pertanyaan itu. Yang A, the Hipparions migrated to Europe to feed in developing grassland. B, there are no fossil remains of either the Ansitiers or the Hipparion. C, there were horses in North America when the first European colonists arrived. D, very little is known about the evolution of the horse. A, no difference in shape between the old and the today horses. Baiklah, sekarang kita analisa satu persatu. Coba opsi jawaban A. The Hipparion migrated to Europe to feed in developing grassland. Apakah kuda-kuda Hipparion itu bermigrasi ke Eropa untuk mendapatkan makanan rumputnya? Coba kita lihat ya. Apakah ada di situ merupakan kesimpulan? Ternyata dia ada, kalimat itu ada di paragraf kedua baris pertama. Ya. About 12 million years ago, at the beginning of Pliocene age, a horse about midway through its evolutionary development crossed a land bridge when the Bering Straits now are located from Alaska into the grassland of Europe, ya. Jadi ada seekor kuda melintasi Selat Bering yang sekarang ini kita katakan Selat Bering untuk dari Alaska ke Eropa untuk mencari padang rumput. Kelihatannya ini jawabannya. Oleh karena itu, jawaban yang tepat untuk nomor 60 adalah A.